I can hear what some of you are thinking. How can a peaceful divorce be possible when there's been infidelity? All that pain, all that shame, all that rage. I remember how that felt. Come back with me to 2005 and you'll find me in a place I don't want to be, with a needle in my arm. I'm still exhausted and a bit confused, really, and I hate the smell of the disinfectant and these migraine-inducing lights. The only good news is Em's here, in her leopard skin boots and matching Versace jacket. Em, thanks for coming to visit me. How do you manage to always look so glamorous with 4 small children? I've only got 3 and, well, look at me. Em, you're not happy, are you? I can tell. Not happy? Suzy, for God's sakes, you could have died. Your appendix exploding everywhere, and I know what's behind it. I know you don't like to talk about it, but it's obvious what's led up to this. I know it was a few years ago, but what he did to you, running off with that woman like that. She stole your man. Now, what was her name again? Oh, yes, Jolene. Personally, I would have had them both executed. Executed? That's the father of my children. I can't have him killed. Bad enough that we're a broken family, but orphaned as well. Oh, God, he is being difficult, though. I mean, you know what, Em? Do you think I'm the only single mum in the world who sometimes looks at her ex and thinks, maybe, just maybe, he's an idiot? Well, you're the idiot if you carry on like this, darling. I mean, you could have killed yourself. I mean, exploding appendixes, really. Look, I have an idea. What you need is to set a new course. So, look what I saw in the newspapers today. It's the world's first ever divorce fair. It's in Austria, of all places. And hold on a minute. Listen to my idea, Suzy. I can see it now. The exhibition hall of the first ever UK divorce fair, run by you, Suzy Miller. No, let me finish. Along that wall are lawyers with banners that read, "We'll take 'em to the cleaners and get the best settlement here." And over there, there we have the DNA testers. Oh, well, of course. And their banner reads, "Are you sure? Why pay for what's not yours?" And here we have the private detectives. Well, of course you'll have private detectives, darling. And they have a banner that reads, "Catch 'em at it. Colour photos included." You could even have a band. It would be marvellous. A band at a divorce fair? Are you crazy? Colour photos included, catch 'em at it. What I'll do, put the photo on the mantelpiece and say, "Hey children, look, there's Daddy and Jolene." Anyway, an event like that would be awful. It would be full of people who were full of anger and full of shame and full of rage. People like me. You know what it was like. You remember how it was for me. He didn't come home. I thought he died. And when he did reappear, it was, well, for a while, I wondered if it might have been better if he had. I remember the pain. 10-year relationship thrown overboard without a tear. Gone in an instant, and I didn't see it coming. I remember the jealousy. He just found himself a shiny new vessel, a new safe harbour with the arms of a new woman. The shame of it. And I remember the rage, how he just smashed our relationship against the rocks and left me to tell our 3 small children. 18 months. 4. And just turned 6. Have you ever had to tell your children something that will change their lives forever? You know how hard it was, and you know I've done really well since then. Sometimes it just seems to get worse and worse, and oh God, and this year, it's the worst thing of all. This year, I'm going to be 40. No one will ever want me. Oh, darling, but with 3 small children in tow, it is a lot to ask of a man. You're not helping, Em. Darling, all I know is that you are running away. You're running away from your health. You're running away from a possible brighter future. Darling, if you don't stop running, you will never, ever heal. Have you ever found yourself doing all the right things and really seeming to do well, and everyone's supporting you and thinks you're just doing great, and then suddenly you realise that all that time you were still running away? I needed to turn my ship around and set a new course, and I discovered personal development. I did Anthony Robbins. I walked over burning hot coals in my bare feet. Cool moss, cool moss, cool moss. And I didn't burn my feet. I read books. There was a great one that Em lent me. It had the word revenge in the title. I don't know why that caught my eye. And I just kept moving forwards. And the next thing was Suzy Miller, single mother of 3, was putting on the UK's first ever divorce fair. And very soon it became evident that it was going to be a complete disaster. So what do you do when you know something is going to be a disaster? Well, you go to the pub, of course. So I'm in the pub, drowning my sorrows, and the hum of voices and the smell of stale beer is strangely comforting. And I'm talking to Sonia, and she's my event manager. Sonia has a rounded body and a rounded face, and all I want to do at the moment is punch it. Suzy, I know it's sad news, and with only a few months to go to the event, you are going to have to cancel it. There's just not enough time to sell enough tickets. There won't be enough people there, and all those exhibitors we've signed, okay, all those exhibitors you've signed up, yes, you are going to have to give their money back. I mean, I don't know what money, but you will need to give it back. And I'm terribly sorry, but I mean, I've really worked hard. I'm very experienced, but I've never actually done a divorce fair before. I've only ever done wedding fairs. Here's my invoice. Oh my God. As if it could get any worse, she's coming over. Sonia, you're fired. Jolene. Hi, Suzy. I've been watching you for about an hour. I was too scared to come over. I don't know how you can even look at me. What I did, running off with him like that, and your children. I don't know why you don't just punch me. Why didn't you just punch me? Did I punch her? Something else happened that even to this day I can't quite explain. Come here, Jolene. It's all water under the bridge. And I meant it. Have you ever had that happen when you do something and you just think, oh my God, where did that come from? Maybe all that walking over burning hot coals and not burning my feet, that somehow, despite all that rage and jealousy in my heart, it didn't burn a hole in my heart. Maybe I did have something important I needed to share, but it's like I've learned how to hoist the mainsail, but I still have no idea how to steer the ship. And everyone's telling me to abandon ship. Have you ever found yourself in a place where there's something you really believe is important to do, but it seems impossible? Oh, the music. The band, they're called Tankers the Henge, if you ever get to see them do, and they're playing a song called Smiling Makes the Day Go Quicker. And the music is filling the room, and we are in 2010 at the Old Ship Hotel in Brighton. And the room is thronging with exhibitors and with press. Like, there's the Times, there's the Guardian journalist, and here next to me is this funny little man in a pinstripe suit. He's from the News of the World. Do you remember them? He's looking a bit confused. Right, okay, we're at the UK's first ever divorce fair, created by you, Suzy Miller, overcoming many adversities, and I'm really confused. Everybody seems to be having such a good time. Well, yeah, they're here to find information and inspiration on better ways, healthier ways to divorce. Right, okay, where's the lawyers then? Where's the lawyers? Well, we do have lawyers. They're over here, but they're not normal lawyers. These are the kinds that help you stay out of court and do things in a more amicable way. I've never heard of those kind of lawyers. Right, private detectives and DNA testers. They had them at the Austrian fair, didn't they? Where are they? Well, I don't have any of those here. But what we do have is, oh, I'm sorry, you've just missed them. This looks like the Mirror have got there first. They're going out onto Brighton Beach with the non-denominational pastors, and they're going to do a letting go ceremony. A letting go ceremony. God, well, I've got to write something. What inspired you to put on this event? Well, it's funny you should ask that, because there was this book I borrowed off a friend, and what caught my eyes, it had the word revenge in the title. Revenge, right, now we're getting somewhere. Who wrote this book then? It was a book by Chuck Spezzano, and it's called Happiness is the Best Revenge. So did the News of the World write up the story of the UK's first ever divorce fair? No. But the Mail did, the Times, even the Washington Post and the New York Times mentioned it. I was on breakfast TV talking about better ways for families to change form. I collaborated with the Ministry of Justice in promoting dispute resolution. I've appeared in countless magazines and articles, and I began to realise that maybe my ex wasn't an idiot after all. Perhaps he just wasn't thinking straight, wasn't quite in his right mind. And maybe all forgiveness is holding the space, a safe harbour, until that person does come back into their right mind. And in my case, that's what happened. Because at the event, with his new wife, supporting me, was my children's father. And since then, we've become a strong co-parenting team. I read once that resentment, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So what I really learned was that in the war of family separation, on the battleground of divorce, and you might want to write this down, always, always make peace your weapon of choice.